everybody, my name is Allison. I'm the Programs, Outreach, and Youth Services Manager here at Monterey County Free Libraries. Thank you for joining me today for another episode of Make It Monday. Today we are going to do painting with tissue paper. So for this project, you are going to need a few things. You are going to need a piece of cardstock or canvas or some other paper to use as your base. You are going to need multiple colors of tissue paper. We're going to tear them up into little squares. I've already torn mine up. And you are going to need a paintbrush and a glass of water. This is what we've referred to in past Make It Monday videos as a process art piece. So what is important here is the process of making the art, not the end product of what it looks like. So everybody's is going to look different in the end, and what is really important is that we have fun in the process of making it, not so much what it turns out looking like at the end. With that in mind, gather up your materials and let's get started.
To start out, we are going to cut up our tissue paper. So you can cut it out, you can tear it. I think I'm actually going to tear mine. You can put it into different shapes if you wanted to cut it, or just tear it up into different little pieces. But you'll get a bunch of different size pieces. Tear those up, and then we'll move on to the next step. I've torn up some pieces here, and we can always tear up more if we want to later. So what we're going to do next is we are going to start laying them out with our water. So you can put them off to the side, off of your piece of paper or your canvas, whatever you're using as your base, and you'll just start layering them down and taking your paintbrush dipped in water and just putting the water on top, like you're painting but with water, and it'll help to stick the tissue paper on to your canvas or your paper that you're using underneath. And if you have a bigger brush, you can use that. I have a pretty small brush here, so I have to do a lot of going back and forth between my water with my brush. And you're just going to do this until your whole page is covered. Okay, so now that I am done with my tissue paper, I've covered my paper, and there can be white spots if you want, or you can cover it all up. We're going to let it dry. We're going to see is that the color from the tissue paper should bleed into our canvas, to our paper behind it. But we have to wait for it to dry first. So I'm going to leave mine to completely dry. It's probably going to take about an hour or so. You can put it out in the sun if you want to do that to help it dry. I'm just going to leave mine in my office and it'll dry out, and then we're going to come back and remove the squares and see what it looks like. Okay, it's been a few hours, so we're going to pull off the tissue paper. And as you can see, the tissue paper has left a little color imprint. Now I looked at some of them, and I think because I used really light colors for my tissue paper, they didn't leave a very dark imprint. So if I were doing this project again, I would use some darker colors of tissue paper, because some of these just didn't really leave much of a color imprint. But on the spots that they did, it leaves this really nice pastel-y color. And I probably would want to use a little bit more water too. But you can see how the color from the tissue paper transferred with the water onto our canvas paper below. So you can do this again even on the same page by getting some more tissue paper, doing another layer, using more water. You can keep going. One of the really fun things about doing process art projects like this is there's not a set end way that it needs to look in the end. It can look all sorts of different ways, and it's all about the process of creating the art. I know I had a really fun time doing the layers and looking at these colors and painting with the water. That was really fun and relaxing for me. So the fact that it didn't come out as dark as I thought it would, that's okay, because I had fun in the process of creating this. So there are a couple of different ways that you could expand upon this, as I mentioned. If you do this project, I would love to see how yours turns out, so please leave a picture in the comments below, or tag us on Instagram at _MCFL. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everyone.